So I remember listening to Alex Jones on Coast to Coast. And I'm thinking to myself, when I first listened to him, I'm like, man, this guy makes a lot of sense. And then as time progressed, I'm like, I heard people complaining about him and saying he's crazy and stuff. And I don't understand how common sense is crazy. Not unless it's to a brat or something that wants to get their way and they're not getting their way, but otherwise, sometimes you got to be told how it is. That's how Alex Jones comes off as. He's old school. A lot of people they resent old school because they've never had discipline in their life and they've been allowed to do whatever they want whenever they want. And so someone like Alex Jones comes along and he rubs them wrong. He rubs them the other way. If I was a brat, I'd probably be rubbed the other way, or a young kid, but it's like if they would only listen to Alex Jones, the guy makes complete sense about everything he says. It's just funny how people misinterpret what people say. Instead of actually listening to someone, they actually totally listen to someone. It's like going to college and thinking, how microbiology is. Not because you actually went to college and took that course, but you just interpreted it from whatever. And that's how it is with people with dealing with Alex Jones and other conservatives like Michael Savage. Michael Savage has been beat up. Alex Jones's people attack him and his crew and throw hot coffee on the guy. And there's no real logic about why they attack other than they believe a bunch of nonsense about the guy. It'd be one thing if Alex Jones was attacking these people. I could see him getting mad and fighting back, but, why would you attack somebody because someone told you something about that person? That's unjustified attack, but that's what people do all the time. They don't bother to research anything, investigate anything, but yet when they're held accountable, then they claim they don't want the police to give their side of the story. They don't want the video camera that's being shown. Granted, there's some cops that are bad cops, but it's just the way the world is headed is into Looneyville, where nothing makes sense. People come up with the wildest opinions about everything that used to be laughed off. But you really can't laugh things off nowadays because people really believe this nonsense. And it all comes down to communism. It really does. The communists are liars, and they're good at coming up with simple sayings to convince people they're a victim or something. And it's like a cult-like aspect that the communists are. Whenever there's a cult, people, if you don't have discernment, you'll just follow that cult leader. The Democrat Party has many different cult leaders. They have George Soros, Bill Gates, people like that. They're a bunch of cult leaders. And they get people want a virtue signal because it makes them feel better. And they're really not doing anything except destructive things. they don't really want to do anything substantive, but they virtue signal. They virtue signal all the time because it makes them feel better. My opinion is why don't you actually do something of substance, something that's going to make society a better place? Invent something that society can use, something, that not only helps society, but it helps you prosper too. Instead of saying I hate America or I hate this, yeah, it's not perfect. There's no place perfect except heaven. Then it's perfect because heaven is a sinless place. But, as long as we live on this earth, we have to be the best we can. We have to do the best you can and get by with that. But just because there's some injustices in the world doesn't mean that you can just completely make everything just. You can try to do your best. And when you try to make everything fair, it becomes the biggest shyster thing, the most unfair thing out there, which is communism. And those people, they take advantages of other people, and it's sad what they do in a very destructive way to destroy society.